Alright everyone, so today I'm going to be talking to you about converting fractions. So first off, what exactly are fractions is the question at hand. So fractions are a small or tiny part, amount, or proportion of something. So why exactly are fractions important? Well, fractions are important because we use them in everyday activities such as cooking, carpentry, sports, sewing, and driving. You use them in cooking when you're measuring out ingredients. You use them in carpentry when you're measuring where to saw and cut. You use them in sports and statistics to determine who's going to win the game. We use them in sewing to decide where to cut the string or fabric. And we use them in driving because you use them for your gas mileage to see how much you have left. So I want you to think of a time in the last week or so where you had to use fractions, and then turn to someone next to you and share. You'll be surprised that you'll all find something that you've had to use fractions with. Some common fractions are 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, 2/3, 3/4, and 1/8. So first off, we're going to start with how to convert fractions to decimals. First, you want to simplify the fraction if it's not already in its simplest form to make life a lot easier for you. Step 2, divide the numerator by the denominator. Step 3, round your answer to the nearest hundredth place. And step 4, check your work. An example of this being 3/4. So we divide 3 by 4, we get 0.75. Next, I'm going to teach you how to convert fractions to percents, which is almost the same as decimals, but with an extra step. First, simplify your fraction again if it's not already in simplest form to make life easy. Then again, divide the numerator by the denominator, but then you're going to move that decimal place 2 places to the right, and then round to the nearest hundredth place. And check your work. Another example showing how this works. We have 4/5, so we do 4 divided by 5 is equal to 0.8. Move the decimal 2 places to the right to get 80%. And that is all. Thank you for watching.
Let's take the fraction 1/2 and convert it into a regular division problem with this division symbol. Now all we have to do is follow the procedure for division. We just see how many times this 2 divides into this 1. Uh-oh, but this won't divide any times. 2 is bigger than 1. Looks like we're going to need some help. And that's where the decimal point comes. Now you remember that in the last section, we learned that 1 could be written as 1.0 or 1.00 or 1.000, and its value is still 1. Let's try doing that here and see what happens. After the 1, put a decimal point and then a 0 in the tenths place. Now our division problem looks like 10 divided by 2, and that's easy to do. The only difference is we have a decimal point. Let's ignore the decimal point for a minute and pretend that our problem really is 10 divided by 2. So 2 will go into 10 5 times, because 5 times 2 equals 10, and that leaves no remainder. So we're done, right? Not so fast. We've got that decimal point to deal with. And we know that 5 can't be the answer because 5 is bigger than 1/2. We just need to include the decimal point in our answer for it to be correct. We put it directly above the decimal point in our problem. There. Now our answer is 0.5, or 0.1, which is the more proper way to write it. So by dividing, we figured out that the decimal value of 1/2 is 0.5. Now let's try converting the fraction 3/4 by dividing. Of course, we start by rewriting our fraction like this, 3 divided by 4. And again, we run into the same problem. 4 is too big to go into 3, so it looks like we're going to need a decimal point here too. Let's put a decimal point after the 3 and a 0 in the tenths place to make 3.0. Now our problem almost looks like 30 divided by 4. Now if you remember your multiplication table, you'll know that 4 goes into 30 7 times, because 7 times 4 is 28. 30 minus 28 leaves a remainder of 2, but we don't want a remainder, so let's keep going. 4 is too big to divide into 2, So the only way we can get rid of the remainder is to use another 0 in the hundredths place, which makes the number we're dividing up kind of look like 300. Now we can bring down that extra 0 to make the remainder look like 20. And 4 will go into 20 5 times, because 5 times 4 equals 20. And that leaves no remainder. Oh yeah. But don't forget, we need to include the decimal point in our answer. Now if you've kept your columns lined up like I have, you'll see that the decimal point goes right here. And that makes our answer 0.75. So the decimal value of 3/4 is 0.75.